Robertson, and today we're going to finish our review packet that we started yesterday. It was the quarter 2 benchmark unit 4 expressions. We have 3 different things in our study guide. Expressions, then we have the equations, and then we also have the inequality study guide piece to this. So let's get ready to go. We were in the middle section of the equations. So go to the equations section with problem negative 3x plus 9 equals negative 12. This recording is being made in my 6th period class. Say hello. Hi. Thank you. Let's go on now. Focus. In this problem, the first thing you're going to do is subtract 9. You now have negative 3x equals, you will add the opposite. Negative 12 plus negative 9 is negative 21. Then you're going to divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3. And yes, this is the way you have to show your steps. This is the correct way to show your algebraic steps. We will cancel. The answer is x equals positive 7. Do your best to line up your equal signs. Sometimes it'll say check step and sometimes it will not. On this problem it asks for a check step. So you are going to have negative 3 times 7 plus 9 equals negative 12. Does everyone see what I just did? Now I need to check. Does this equal that? Negative 3 times 7 is negative 21. Negative 21 plus 9 equals negative 12. Yes, it does. That is the correct way to show your steps and to do the check step. Question? Question? Yes, I think so. I still have not seen the test. It'll be ready tonight, is the email that I got on the update for the test. Now let's go on to the next problem. Here we have to combine like terms. And I do like to always get rid of the subtraction signs so we can freely move things around. The commutative property allows us to do that. 24 plus 3 will give you 27 plus negative 4x equals negative 1. You have to get rid of your 27 minus 27 minus 27. Draw your line and cancel. You now have negative 4x equals, add the opposite, negative 1 plus negative 27 equals negative 28. Divide both sides by a negative 4, and your answer will be x equals a positive 7. Negative divided by negative is positive. And for the check step, you could say 27 plus negative 4 times 7. Does that equal negative 1? 27 plus negative 28, yes it does. It equals a negative 1. Circle your answer. In the next problem, your bike is broken. The repair person charges $35 an hour and parts for the bike cost $75. The total cost of fixing the bike is $145. How many hours did it take to fix the bike? Define the variable. What are we looking for? Hours. You do not have to use the variable h, but h will represent hours. My equation is going to be 35 times h plus 75 equals 145. I'm going to subtract 75, and I have 35 times h equals 70. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 35, and I have h equals 2, so the answer is 2 hours. Any questions? Okay, let's go to the next page. We have another word problem. It says you have $138 to spend. You buy shoes for $88. You want to buy matching shirts for you and your friends that cost $9. How many shirts can you buy? Well, I'm going to use the variable x equals shirts. The equation 138, I'm going to write it just a little differently this time, equals 88 plus 9x. I bet most of you probably wrote it like this, 9x plus 88 equals 138. That would be fine. Both of these are correct. There's more than one way to write an equation, okay? So either one of those would work. You do first have to get rid of your 88. You always get rid of what's not with the variable, minus 88. When you subtract, you'll get 50 equals 9 times x. Divide both sides by 9, and you're going to get 5 and 5 ninths. 9 goes into 55 times. You have 5 left over. So how many shirts? You can only get 5 shirts. Yeah, so the question asks how many shirts. You would say 5 shirts, okay, on that. That would be the answer. It says find all equivalent expressions that equal 4x plus 22. Okay, well, you need to see which ones will equal that, because these all look like, several of them look like distributive property or combining like terms. So let's try this one. 4 times x equals 4x. 4 times 11 is 44. Not that one. Here, negative 2 times negative 2x is 4x. Add the opposite. Negative 2 times negative 11 equals a positive 22. Oh, that one works. Let's do all of them because it says find all equivalent expressions. Well, 24 minus 2, this one is it too, because this will equal 4x plus 22. Circle that one. Well, that's a 1x. 1x plus 3x is 4x. 13 plus 9, there's another one. 4x plus 22. 4x plus 22. Oh, so in this one they all are equivalent except A. Yes?
Can I go to the bathroom?
If it's an emergency. What is an equivalent equation for the given equation? 3x minus 6 equals 10. Yeah. So the first thing we have to do is take a pass, please. Solve the equation. Let's simplify it. 3x minus 6 equals 24. Add 6, add 6. 3 times x equals 30. Divide both sides by 3. X equals 10. So when these equal, when you simplify it to x equals 10, it's an equivalent one. Well, here, divide by 3, divide by 3, you'll get x equals 10. So A is a match. In this one here, when I simplify this one, let's see, I'm just going to do this one down here. 24 equals negative 8 minus 3x. Add the opposite. Add 8, add 8. I'm going to have 32 equals negative 3x. That's not going to be a 10. I can tell already that that will not equal a 10. Yes? Right. So let's do the next one. I'm going to do this one down here. Negative 3x plus 8 equals negative 24. Subtract 8, subtract 8. Negative 3x equals, add the opposite, another 32. That's not going to be a 10, I can tell already. Let's do D. 24 equals 3x minus 8. I'm going to add 8.
It's negative 3x. I mean, it's negative 8 minus 8.
Oh, I'm doing D. Yes. And you end up with 32 equals 3x again. I can tell when I divide by 3 that won't equal 10. But this one, definitely x equals 10. So the two that you have that would be A and E would be correct for that one. Now we have to look at the next problem. What is an equivalent equation for the given equation? All right, so let's see if we can find a match. This will equal 5 times x plus 20 equals 10. Do any of these say that? Oh, 5x plus 20 equals 10. That's definitely one. And then if I solve this all the way, minus 20, you have 5 times x equals negative 10. Divide by 5, x equals negative 2. Negative 2 plus 8 does not equal 50. If I take negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. Negative 10, oh, we already checked that one. We know that one's true. 5 times negative 2 is negative 10. Plus 4 is not 10. And we haven't checked this one. 5 times negative 2 is 10. And 10 plus 40 does not equal 10. So the only right answer to this one will be C. Any questions? All right. Then we are going to go to our inequality study guide. This one you need to be very careful. I made several mistakes this morning on the inequality worksheet. So we're going to be very careful to make sure we are watching our negative signs and the direction of our inequality signs. 3, 2, and 1. Problem number 1. Negative 4 plus a number that should say is at least 6. So negative 4 plus a number, I'm going to use n, you don't have to use n, is at least 6. Okay, can it be 6? Yes. Is it going to be bigger than 6 or smaller than 6?
Bigger.
Bigger. If at least, that means 6 is the smallest it can be. At least means that number or larger, okay? So it gets the big end. 6 exceeds 3 times a number. Can 6 equal 3 times a number? No. Exceeds means it is bigger. It gets the big end. 6 is greater than 3n. Let's look at the next problem. The product of negative 3 and a number, negative 3 product means we're multiplying, is at most negative 12. Can it be negative 12?
Yes.
Is it going to be bigger or smaller?
Smaller.
Smaller, because negative 12 is the most it can be. So it can be negative 12 or smaller.
So
It gets the little point.
So n can equal 3, 2, or 1, or 4.
Number 4, 1/3 of a number is less than 3. 1/3 of a number can be written like this, less than 3. Another way you will see 1/3 of a number written is n over 3 is less than 3. They both say the same thing. Any questions? All right. 2 times a number, 2n, increased by 5 plus 5 is less than 24. Just sort of read it in chunks, in groups, okay? And write things down and then go back and double check. Is this what I want it to say? Yes. Always go back and check them. Look at your papers. All right, let's go on to the next problem. The sum of 9 and twice a number. So 9 and twice a number, that's what the sum is fewer than the opposite of 5. Fewer than means it's smaller. Opposite 5 means negative 5. Any questions? Okay, now let's go on to the next problem. Here we are first going to get rid of negative, or adding 2.3, so we're going to subtract 2 3/10 from both sides. You have negative 4 times x is greater than, and you're going to add the opposite. That will give you a negative 9. Now you're going to divide both sides by a negative 4. And when you do this, which is multiplying or dividing both sides by a negative number, your inequality sign will flip. So it's going to turn the other direction. So the answer is going to be x is less than 2 1/4. 9/4 is the same thing as 2 1/4. It's positive. Now, this means you're going to have an open circle. X has the little point. Little numbers live left. Now you put your numbers in. 2 1/4, 2, and I'm going to say 2 1/2. I don't think you have to do the numbers on your test. It's multiple choice where you have to choose the right inequality sign. Yes?
So it's just whenever you divide it by negative numbers, that's
when you are dividing both sides by a negative number, or when you multiply both sides by a negative number, the inequality sign flips. Not when you add or subtract them. Okay? Yes?
you have to put it as a fraction.
No. No. What did you have for your decimal? Did you do a decimal? What was it? 2.25. Okay. Yes. No, you can do fraction or decimal unless it's very specific about which one they want. All right, on this problem, you're going to combine your like terms. 12x minus 5x is 7x, less than or equal to negative 14. Try to keep your inequality signs underneath each other, just like you're supposed to do when you're doing equations. Now you're going to divide both sides by 7. Again, you need to make sure this is the way you are showing your steps. This is the correct way to communicate in mathematics. We get a negative 2. So, close circle. X has the little point. Little numbers live left. So I have negative 2, negative 3, negative 1. Any questions? Okay, let's continue. Number 9, RXL pays 55 cents for each pound of paper that is turned in. Mike needs at least $90 to repair his bike. He has $45 in savings that can go to his bike repair. How many pounds of paper does he need to turn in so he will have enough money to fix his bike? Well, you're going to have 55 cents times P. P is going to equal pounds. My variable's P equals pounds, plus the amount that he has saved, $45, can be equal to or larger than $90. Okay? Now, subtract 45. You have 55 cents times P is greater than or equal to 45. Now you're going to divide both sides by 55 cents. And when you do that, you're going to get P will be greater than or equal to 81 point, and it's 81 repeating pounds. Now they will probably have you round that to the nearest whole pound, which would be P is greater than or equal to 82. And you don't have to graph that one. Number 10, a Six Flags trip. Each student paid $60 and the band paid a total of $200. The total cost for the trip is $2,500. How many students went on the trip? Well, 60 times X plus the 200, excuse me, is less than or equal to $2,500. So we're going to subtract 200. So 60 times X is less than or equal to 2,300. Divide by 60, divide by 60, and you're going to get X is less than or equal to 38.3 repeating. So it's going to be 38 students could go on the trip. 38 or fewer. Any questions? Let's go to the next page. Here you just have to be very careful about what you are doing and be mindful of the negative numbers and negative signs. Multiply both sides by a -3, and you have to show you multiply both sides by a -3. You can't just put down a -3 on one side and don't show your steps. You are communicating. And this will equal -63. Open circle, X has the big end, big numbers. Oh, wait a minute. What did Mrs. Robertson forget to do? Jack. That's right. I multiply both sides by a negative number, which would cause that to flip. So the answer, X is less than -63. So an open circle, little point, little numbers live to the left. And that's -63, -64, -62 would be some numbers you could use. Woo! Just about didn't catch that one. Okay, let's go on to the next problem. In this problem, you're going to have 60 is less than -4 times y plus -4 times 3 is -12. Add 12, add 12. You now have 72 is less than -4y. It's not going to get me this time. Divide by -4, divide by -4. Flip that inequality sign. You are going to have -18 is greater than y. Now, it's going to be an open circle. Y has the little point. Where do the little numbers live? Left. Because the variable's on the different side, make sure you pay attention. So I have -18, -19, -17. Any questions? Okay. The next problem. First, we're going to get rid of 2 4/10. -2 4/10. -2 4/10. So you have 2/10 x is less than or equal to, I'm going to just rewrite this differently. 2.4 minus 0.6, borrow. 14 minus 6 is 8, you get 1.8. So it's negative 1.8. Now, divide both sides by 2/10. And x is less than or equal to 1.8 divided by 2/10. It's negative. Move it 1, move it 1, and you're going to get negative 9. So negative 9. Closed circle going to the left. Any questions on this? Okay, let's go on to number 14. Are you showing all of your work?
Yes.
Some of you are, I hope you have them all right and you don't have to do corrections. But I will be disappointed if I walk around and you don't have everything shown correctly. This one, you're going to have 6 plus 3x is greater than or equal to 48. Subtract 6, subtract 6. 3 times x is greater than or equal to 42. Divide by 3, and you will have x is greater than or equal to 14. Closed circle, x has the big end, big numbers live to the right. All right, let's go on to the next problem. Add 5, add 5. X divided by 3 is greater than or equal to 18. Multiply by 3, multiply by 3. X is greater than or equal to 54. Closed circle going to the right. Any questions? In this problem, you're going to have 20 times x plus negative 5 is less than or equal to 75. To get rid of a negative 5, you're going to add a positive 5. You now have 20x is less than or equal to 80. Divide both sides by 20. And x is less than or equal to 4. You're going to have a closed circle. X has the little point, little numbers live left. Any questions? Let's go on to the next problem. Oh, we will combine our like terms. Put a negative 1 in front of that x. 4x plus negative 1x, 3x, plus 6 is less than or equal to 21. So we are going to add, or not add, to get rid of the 6, you're going to subtract 6, subtract 6. 3 times x is less than or equal to 15. Divide by 3, divide by 3. X is less than or equal to 5. Closed circle. X has the little point, little numbers live left. So we have 4, 5, and 6. Any questions? In this problem, you're going to subtract 7, subtract 7. Now, when you subtract, you add the opposite. And we now have 3 times x is greater than or equal to negative 21. Divide by 3, divide by 3. X is greater than or equal to negative 7. Close circle going to the right. And that's negative 7, negative 8, negative 6. Any questions on these problems? All right, let's go to the back and finish this off. Number 19. In this problem, you are first going to get rid of the 7 by subtracting 7, add the opposite, So you will have negative 3x is greater than or equal to negative 12. Divide by negative 3, divide by negative 3, flip that inequality sign, and x is less than or equal to a positive 4. Negative divided by negative is positive. Close circle on the 4 going to the left. Excuse me. I've been talking a lot here. Number 20, we're going to combine like terms. 12x minus 9x equals 3x. 3 times x is less than 63. Divide by 3, divide by 3. X is less than 21. Open circle on the 21 going to the left. Number 21. Subtract 9, subtract 9. X is greater than, add the opposite. Negative 26. Now, we will have an open circle going to the right. Negative 26. All right, number 22, we're getting close to the end. 18x plus negative 45 is less than negative 9. You first have to get rid of a negative 45 by adding a positive 45. Now, 18x is less than negative 9 plus a positive 45, 36. Divide by 18. Divide by 18. X is less than 2 because 2 times 18 is 36. Open circle going to the left. Any questions? All right. Describe and correct the error. What is the error on this problem? Yes.
They divided by negative 5, but they didn't flip their...
They forgot to flip the inequality sign. Do not forget to correct the error. So the describing is flip the inequality sign. Because when you divide both sides by a negative, the inequality sign will flip. And the correct answer should be x is less than negative 24. And pay attention, are they positive or negative numbers? Don't write down you get your sign flip and then write down the wrong numbers. That is stressful. Now, I don't always agree with what the steps are. I would add a few more steps. But given the steps that you have to decide what you would do out of those steps. So the steps given, which letter would you do first for the first step? Luke.
A.
A. Subtract 18 from each side. Yes. Now, sometimes it's easier if you just do the problem too. So if you have 18 minus 8x, you would first, I would tell you to get rid of a subtraction sign, but they didn't give that as an option. So subtract 18. Now you have negative 8x is greater than 80. Then we would divide both sides by negative 8 and flip our inequality sign. X is less than negative 10. So out of the steps given, because they don't give every single thing that we did, what would be the second step that you would do? We already said A. What's the second thing you would do, Lillian?
Second thing we would do would be B.
B, divide each side by a positive 8.
Oh, not positive 8. It's
D, negative 8. See, you have to be careful. You have to read carefully. It wasn't a positive 8. It's a negative 8. And then what's the third step out of the steps given? What would you do next? Yes. E. Now, if you are familiar with everything in the packet, you will be fine for the test tomorrow. Now, this is the plan. For tomorrow's test, we'll do the paper part of it. I have not seen the test yet, but then we will do Mastery Connect on Monday. So you can get it done. Don't have to worry about getting everything all done on Friday. We can do the Mastery Connect part on Monday. Question? Yes.
Our last quizzes rated in the group